Hi there, this is the CMOS, the Code Maven open source podcast and video interview series. This is your host, Gabor Sabu, and with me is Mohammad Anwar. Hi, Mohammad.
Hi, Gabor. How are you?
Fine, really fine. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thank you very much
Okay.
for giving me this opportunity.
It's great to have you. I passed quite a few Perl modules to you. You took over maintenance of them,
Yes,
so I'm
I
really
did.
happy because I didn't really have a lot of time to maintain those.
Yeah,
So
it was my pleasure to be part of this big world community.
that's
Mm.
great. Let's start by a little bit of, about your background, your story. How did you get into programming and Perl?
Yeah, uh, my background is actually I'm a science graduate with honors in mathematics. So I wasn't into computer science or anything like that. It's a pure science with mathematics honors. So, so I did my graduation in India, and then I started playing with COBOL language.
COBOL.
COBOL, yeah, I
Ah,
started with the COBOL, and then moved on to Pascal. Played with Pascal with a couple of months, and then I got attracted towards the Visual Basic, like a Visual Basic programming with the Oracle database. But started with this, and then I done that couple of years, and then I moved to Bombay, where I got the first opportunity to work with Perl. That was in 98, 99. So those days CGI was in demand. Everybody was using CGI for all the web thing. So yeah, that was my first interaction with Perl. I started, and since then I've been using Perl. So that's how I started with Perl. And then I got an offer in London, and as a consultant, I moved from Bombay to London in 2000, April 2000, and since then I've been here working for various companies in London, in and around.
hmm.
So that's how I've been with Perl.
So how is this move from India to London?
Honestly speaking, Gabor, it was a big cultural shock, and the working culture is so different from India. In India, usually people work 6 days a week,
Hmm.
and you start 9 in the morning, and there's no closing time there. Sometimes you work till late, sometimes midnight. So when I moved here, yeah, it was more organized. I found it, and it was a big cultural. First thing I noticed is you only work 5 days a week here in London, so that's a, you get more off than in India. And also, there's no, or you don't need to work more than 8 hours a day. So unless you really want it yourself, otherwise nobody's going to force you to work. Oh, Mohammed, can you stay till 8 or 9? Nobody going to tell you. So you come in 9, leave 5:30. Nobody asks any questions. So yeah, and also for me, English was not my first language. So coming to London was another language barrier for me. So I had to start from scratch. So for to be able to communicate and to be able to understand what is asked uh, to do, I had to understand the language. I had to understand the accent, English accent. This was completely new to me. And luckily, I had a very good people who I worked under. They were very friendly, very cooperative, and very accommodative. So yeah, I was very lucky. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
how.
I can't say anything about accents,
Yeah,
having myself
yeah,
just a really strong one, but you definitely don't have the regular Indian
yeah,
accent in English. Probably because I don't know.
yeah. I've been here for 16 years nearly, so
Yeah,
probably I must have picked up without
yeah,
realizing it. I don't know.
right.
So,
Okay.
so, so that
So you enjoy being there.
I did enjoy, honestly speaking. Yes, I've had the opportunity to work with very big name. So yeah, very happy so far.
Great. So How did you get to start to contribute to open source?
I remember in the past I joined a company called Spinvox. It was a startup company, and there I met Neil Barbers, Dr. Neil Barbers, and I didn't know him before. So when I joined him, I found out about him that okay, he's a very big uh, name in the Perl community. So and I had the opportunity to work under him. I learned a lot from him, and I started admiring him. I tried to copy everything that he used to do. For example, writing blogs or writing modules or contributing to CPAN or writing help pause thing. So that's where I started. So I wanted to do what he does on a daily basis, and but I never got the opportunity. I did, every time I say, okay, let's do something, and let's add something to CPAN, but I had absolutely no clue what to do. I mean, anything comes to my mind, I always see somebody has already done it. So I don't know where to start. So I keep thinking about it. And one day I was just looking at the London Tube map. And I remember that day there was some tube strike. And I said, oh my God, how I'm going to go back home. So I started looking around the map and I said, let me find the shortest route or try to avoid the route that's not working or there's some trouble in that route. And that's where I started. I said, okay, I'm going to write a Perl program. Just write a script to see if I can find the shortest route. I could avoid a particular line or do something funny. So that's how I started. Came to my mind. I said, okay, I don't think anybody has done this, but there were already few algorithms regarding the graph searching and all those different algorithms of search. I said, I'm going to use one of those search algorithms and try to find a shortest route using those algorithms. And not having the science background, I mean computer science background, I find it a little bit harder to understand all those algorithms, search algorithms. So I started looking around the Google and see if I can find any and write any paper where it can explain me to a non-computer science background how it actually works. I came across one case study by some university student, Australian university student, and he explained very simple language so I could understand. And from there I got the idea how it actually works. And I started using, implemented and try to solve my shortest route problem for London Tube map. And that was my first contribution. So I started with it and pushed it to CPAN. I got a couple of positive feedback from different people, and they came up with few suggestions, and that's how I started. And few other people also came along and joined me, and started working together. That's how I started. So that was my first thing.
So
that's
which is this the module called MapTube?
That's called MapTube. Yeah, yeah.
And do you know if it's in? So do you use it now these days?
I do use it. Yeah, I'm thinking of creating a REST API for it, so and put it on my website, so I can use it online or something like that.
Okay.
So
and do you know if other people use it?
I know a couple of guys who use it, and they have developed their own map for their different cities and all over the world. So I got I think 4 or 5 cities myself. And there's another guy who's got about 10 or 15 different cities. He created a map using my framework. And there's a guy from Germany, he created a few. Yeah, there are 3-4 guys who done the different mapping for different cities using my framework.
So when was this? When did you create this?
I think 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. So back then, I don't know if how Google Map worked and how these other various. I guess there weren't really any of these GPS mapping softwares on the mobile phones. We hardly had any smartphones then back then.
Yeah,
so,
probably. Yeah.
So how I mean, I think you can do something similar with Google Maps today, right?
Yeah,
Or
more. Yeah, you could do that. But yeah, it's not real time mapping. It's just uh, as it stands. It just give you the shortest route.
mm,
Doesn't give you the real time. If there's any s- station which is closed in real time, it doesn't tell you whether it's closed or not. But it can be implemented. There are various source where you can get those real time data. It can be implemented, so you can get a real time and
yeah,
change the route depending whether or not any station is closed in your route, shortest route. Probably give you some other route where it's not everything is clear.
well, it sounds like really nice, and then you could build the service around it, either
Yeah,
with an
yeah, sure.
API or with a web
Yeah, yeah,
interface.
yeah, yeah.
And if
I'm
it's
thinking
open
of
source,
converting. Yeah, yeah. I'm converting and thinking of converting it to REST API so other people can use it.
yeah,
So just yeah. So that's very close to me. That's the one.
no, that's great.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So, what other modules? You mentioned various calendar and games modules.
Yeah, there's one more. Yeah, I would like to share this with you. I remember 5 or 6 years ago, I was looking for a new opportunity in London. Excuse me. And so I applied for a Perl developer position in one of the big Perl house in London. And so their selection procedure was they would send you a Perl task. So you got to finish the task in maybe 2 hours time, and you have to send back the code. So they sent me Perl task saying, okay, write a program to play a game of domino. So for me, that was the first time. Excuse me. That was the first time I ever heard of the game of domino. So for me, before even I can think of designing this module, I had to understand how the game works, how you play the game. Excuse me. So I, as I said, I had to start from the scratch, and I couldn't finish it in time. So whatever I did, I sent it as it is to them, and as I expected, I didn't heard from them. So probably they didn't like it. So once I got the feeling that my answer was not accepted, so I said, okay, I'm going to spend more time now because I've got a pleasure to go back to the design board. I understood how you play the game of domino. Then I went back, redid everything from scratch, and I said I'm going to share to my Perl community on CPAN so other people can have a look. That's how I started, and I pushed it to CPAN. And I said, "Here's my game of domino." So I'll remember even when I get older, and it's like that was the first game I did in using Perl.
That's interesting. So basically, what you're saying is that when you
Mm.
have to do something because of a
Yeah.
job, it's
Mm.
less of a fun. But when you
Yeah.
do it for yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. So it was fun. So yeah.
yeah, I
Then I
think.
did a few other games as well while I was doing that. So I said, yeah, just for fun.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I started.
And in the calendar namespace.
Yeah, calendar one was something. I remember I came across uh, a JavaScript code. I was looking at online and saw someone has created JavaScript to deal with various type of calendars. And this guy just put it online. I said it's open source. Anybody can use it and do whatever they want to do with the JavaScript code. I said, and I look around the calendar thing that's available on the CPAN. Then I said, okay, I want to use this JavaScript and convert it into Perl. But then I said, I need to do something different that's not there on the CPAN already. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do something like on a console, I want to display a colorful calendar where you can have a colorful text and dates and everything nice and fancy. color-coded calendar. So I use the JavaScript code and convert it into Perl, and then started with various different calendars. For example, Baha'i calendar or Islamic calendar, Hijri calendar, and different types of calendar, and using his JavaScript code. And converted it into like a color coded, so you get a nice, colorful calendar on your terminal. So that's how I started that calendar thing.
So these are terminal-based calendars, right?
Terminal based, yeah. So there's an app as well. So it just say CALENDR with a missing A at the end. So it's a command line tool. You just say calendar and then excuse me. So yeah.
Okay.
So,
These are
yeah.
so. This is a calendar. These are the game that you mentioned, the domino.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that also command line?
It's a command line
So you
game.
can
Yeah.
play it command line.
Yeah. So when you install this module, it comes with a tool script. So get installed in your path, whatever binary bin path. So you just play the game. So I think play dash domino or something like that. It can install,
Good.
so you can play in the command line.
So what I noticed that besides doing these command line things, you also I looked at your website and it has quite a few interesting things there, like a dashboard for your CPAN modules, I think. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me this question because, as I said, I try to follow Neil Bowers as closely as possible. So when I came across his personal website, which is neilb.org, so first thing I did was, okay, I'm going to reserve my own uh, web name. So I came up with manword.org just to follow him the way he's a neilb.org. So I said, mine is going to be manword.org. So I reserved my first thing is my domain. And then I said, what I'm going to do. So let's see what Neil Bowers does. So on his website, one of the section is where he mentioned this stats, various stats, like on how many people uploaded to CPAN on a daily basis or weekly basis or yearly basis, kind of data. I said, yeah, very nice. But I said, I'm not going to copy what he does. I said, I'm going to convert that into a different format. Exact the same data, but in a different format. So I say, I'm going to convert that into some kind of graph. So using high chart, free graph, JavaScript thingy, use a JSON data and converted that into a friendly chart. So that's how it's all started. So I said, I'm going to do that. So I try to keep that. And that's how I also got into, I came across that Neil Bauer started this at a trend where he used to push one changes to CPAN on a daily basis. And he did that for 101 consecutive days. And after that, he stopped it. That's what I think he had some kind of challenge among his friends, and some other people in his group started doing that, and he was like a leading, and he stopped after a while. I said, "Oh wow, I wish I could do that 101 consecutive days," and that's how I started. And since then, I've been doing that 692 days. Today is the 692 consecutive days. I've been pushing one changes every day to CPAN.
Wow.
And then I came across Barbie, who did, I think, 370 some odd days, consecutive days. I thought whether I'm going to beat Barbie or not, but I'll try it. And Barbie even mentioned in one of his blogs saying, I'm going to stop it after 1 year. I'm not going to carry on because it's too much effort. I think Mohammed is going to carry forward probably. He said, oh, good luck to me. So I'm carrying on. I don't know how long I'm going to carry on.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that's why you needed the modules.
Yeah, because after a point I said I have nothing more to do. So I said I need to go and see if I can adopt some of the most popular models, so I could do some kind of contribution. So I'll have something to push on a daily basis. So that's all. Yeah.
Oh, I have
One
a
of the
couple of
reasons why.
There are a couple of more modules under my name, so you
Yeah.
can take them. I don't.
I would love to. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that off. I think
Yeah, of
off
course.
the video.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So that's all.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm.
Okay, so we have quite a few other things that we wanted to talk about,
Sure.
but the time is we have already talked for 20 minutes. So
All right.
I would like to finish this conversation this time
Sure.
and then
Okay.
go on later on and talk more about the other stuff.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Why not? Yeah.
Uh, so really, thank you very much for coming on the show.
No
Uh,
problem.
would you like to say anything else just for this episode and then?
Yeah. One thing I always say, the reason I get so much attracted towards this contribution part of it is, uh, I've seen people who contribute in a big way to Pearl in general, and my ambition, like every time I do something and contribute in whatever small way I do, I said I wish I could do a bigger project in Pearl. For example, like there's a dancer project going on, and for example, Meta CPAN, the group of people working on Meta CPAN, like that, those big projects. My ambition is, my next target is, one day I would like to be part of the core team for those, so I can do something very interesting. Whatever I do so far, I don't think is anywhere near. Then that's all. I wish one day probably maybe I can go and join those core team of Perl developers to contribute in a big way.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think, as far as I understand, most of the time you worked alone and with some
Yeah,
contributors helping you, and
yeah,
these are this is definitely a different kind
yeah,
of contribution when you work in a team with a couple of
mm,
other people.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I want to experience that as well, if possible. See if can get chance.
Yeah, I remembered
Mm.
one more question that I wanted to ask about your website. That
Yeah,
is that open source?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
So
yeah,
other people can take the
yeah,
code
yeah,
and
yeah,
configure
yeah,
it probably to their own modules and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
get using
It's
it.
available on my GitHub, so anybody can take a branch, fork it, do it, whatever they want.
Okay.
Absolutely free.
Uh, let's direct people there and then see if other people will get use it. And maybe they'll start to try to follow you and catch up with your
Maybe
days.
I
It's going to be
yeah, yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, it's absolutely free. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
really thank you again for coming on the show. And I really hope that you can continue this conversation because there are quite a few more things that I wanted to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime you want me, I will be there.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for your time. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.
Bye.